So the key is then to find out what are your real gems and what is this real thing that you're good at. And one of the things you need to do is stop talking about I am. I am an accountant. I am a sales guy. I am a lawyer. I am a marketing person. And you need to focus on the results of what you do. This is what I call the value proposition. But if you say I am, you are putting a label on you that's just simply a tag and that doesn't differentiate you at all. And so what you have to do is start finding out what is the real value in it. And people are looking, they're hiring you not because they want to fill a box on an org chart. I mean, even though that's a box that you might be taking or they're creating you on, they're not doing that because they want a name in that box. They're doing it because they have some business issues or things that need to get done in their company, or they're trying to reach certain goals, and so you need to tell them what outcomes you deliver. And this is what many of you on your resume have done in terms of, you've achieved this and done that, but many people miss out on some of the important things. First thing I'd like to show you is an exercise that I did myself at my first career crisis when I was spiraling down out of control. First thing I did, and this was real interesting to me, and I'm sure you've all done this. You've taken your jobs and you've outlined your jobs, and here's my job and here's my roles and responsibilities for this job, and you've done that for your resume, right? And then you went to your next thing and you said, here's my accomplishments. And maybe you were awarded or you had some metrics that they could measure. You've got this here and you're feeling good, but you know what? It doesn't tell who you are. It doesn't tell who you are. When my job career was spiraling out of control the first time, I did that, and I sat and looked at these pages all taped together on a sheet of paper, and I could see my job history, and I could see what I'd done, and I could see all my roles and responsibilities, and I could see my accomplishments, but it didn't get to who I was and where the heart of me was. And then I drew a big red line across it, and I said, what did I love to do in each position? And this is the fundamental key that drove me into a whole new direction for my business and helped me capture the essence of me and my own unique strengths and talents as compared to other people in my profession. But literally I said to myself, Jill, what do you do that you don't have to do in this job, but you do it because you do it, because that's who you are? Well, those things that you do just because that's who you are, that you minimize because it's no big deal. Those are your talents, for God's sake. Those are the things you're good at. Those things that you volunteered for at work, projects that you didn't have to be on a team. That's your talents. You volunteered for a reason because it grabbed you. The thing that you worked on at 9 o'clock at night, not because it was required, but because it was interesting to you. That's important to you guys. And so what you need to do first thing is find out what are those things that make you get up in the morning and make you excited about going to work. Because honestly, the one thing you have right now is you have an opportunity to create the next step of your life. And you can either go into a job that's mediocre for you, that you fit into a box that has somebody else's name on, or you can create the job that's yours. And you can create a job that's 80% yours, and I'll tell you, a job that's 80% yours is a whole heck of a lot better than one that's 20% yours. Because you will get up, you will do a better job at it. You will achieve more than they thought possible when they hired you. They'll be delighted with you. You'll be given more responsibility and more opportunity to do more of what you want. This is so crucial, and not enough people really look at it. They just want to get down to the metrics. The next thing I want to talk about too is think about your ideas. You have all come out of jobs, and in your jobs you had ideas to fix problems or to help get something done. Those ideas are your gems, because if you look at the problem or idea that you had, you will find that you created business results. You created outcomes that were desirable. You created something that somebody wants to hire people for. Every single job has something like that. I can't tell you how it's there, and people don't recognize it. I have a friend, Mark, from JobBait. I don't know, have any of you been to jobbait@all.com? If you haven't been to JobBait, you have to go to JobBait. It's a wonderful resource. It's my friend Mark Hovind from Seattle. And he analyzes the job market and puts out monthly updates on what's happening in different fields, different cities. I mean, he takes the government's papers, the government's statistics, and does something with it. But he also does, he provides a service for six-figure executives and helps them get back to work faster. He's in the book, and 3 of his letters are in the book. But Mark Hovind also teaches people who are jobless and homeless in Seattle as part of his own mission work. And he says that everybody's ideas have value. He once interviewed a janitor who said, "I am a janitor. I do janitor work." And he said to the janitor, "Did you, in that last job you had, did you come up with any ideas that helped?" And the janitor went, "Well, there was this one thing I did. They were, doing floors wrong, and, I helped them change this, and it resulted in, we ended up saving a lot of money." And so the janitor, who had an idea on how to do something better, helped and had some statistics and some metrics that he could go to his next employer with and say, "I'm a janitor, and I make a difference to the companies I work with. In my recent job, I came up with an idea that enabled my employer to save this amount of money." Now, if you were an employer and you had a janitor who came in and said, "I have ideas that helped my last employer save this amount of money," and you had somebody who filled out an application, who do you want to hire? You want to hire the guy with ideas, don't you? The one who's taken the initiative, who's forward-thinking, who's professional about his job. He wasn't professional. He wasn't thinking on being professional. He was just doing his job. He was just doing his job. And you have a ton of things that you have done in your life when you were just doing your job that are valuable. And it's your job to start saying, what were those little gems that I did? What projects did I work on? What did I help achieve? Did we grow the number of people who came to the church events this year? Did we get a better result from our trade show? What was it that you did in the last job? What projects did you do? What metrics did you achieve? Because you want to be able to talk that, because that stands out in the marketplace. One of the things that I try to do is to teach people how to talk the language of business. And you can say, "I do teaching," or you can say, "I do lawyering," or "I do sales," or "I do marketing," or you can start talking about things that the employers are interested in. And this is if you want to really get inside the head of the people that you're calling on, what are they being measured on? Think about it. You're interviewing with somebody, and you should have sort of an idea, because you've probably interviewed for a similar job in the past or come from a similar job. And if you say, "What would this boss of mine be expected to achieve?" And this is what bosses in any job are expected to do. They're expected to get more things done, right? They're expected to improve operational efficiency. They're expected to cut costs. They're expected to get more done for the same amount of money. This is what they're expected to do. And any time that you have done anything that shows movement from the status quo, that where you have improved this, reduced that, sped things up, slowed it down, any time that you have done that, that is a metric and something that you can use to really stand out from the crowd. And most people don't think that. They think, "Well, I'm just in a job and we don't do it. I just do teaching, Well, no, you do more than that. You've worked on projects for years, and these projects are vital. And every project that you have, you've done something. You've improved something. How did you do over last year's event? Was it better this year than last year? Were there more people in attendance? Were you able to do it with a less amount of dollars? But this is the language that starts setting you apart, so that when you want to call somebody, you have something valuable to say.